If you could read thousands of books a year like this on money, wealth, and prosperity, do you think it would have an impact on your financial freedom, on your ability to create wealth for the rest of your life? And we all know the answer is yes. Of course it would. Because you probably remember the first time you read a book that really just caught you. It could have been on spirituality, it could have been on business, it could have been a Tony Robbins book or anything like that. And it hooks you. You feel like you have a whole different worldview after that. And you start to feel excited, you feel more intelligent, you want to tell everyone about what you've been learning. But imagine that times 1,000 every single year. And I remember the first time I heard about this concept, I was in California doing NLP training, and there was an incredibly successful man who had huge amounts of companies, and he said that was the one secret for him that let him take off and being able to connect with all the people he wanted to connect with, being able to build the companies and keep growing them. And he said that he committed to reading thousands of books every single year. And at the time I remember thinking, how is that even possible? It took me a month to read a book. I remember the first time I read a Tony Robbins book, it did take me a month. And I just wanted to get through it so quickly and start to understand it all because I knew every page was gold. And then it frustrated me when I walked into a bookstore and I saw thousands or tens of thousands of books and I wanted to get through them all, but I knew at my current reading speed I couldn't get there. But whenever I heard this secret from my friend, then he showed me how to do it and he told me about photo reading. So it's a process that you can read a book in 30 to 60 minutes depending on how well you know the subject. And I want to show you that process because this is one of the simple little life hacks that makes a shortcut to creating wealth. And if you have this, I promise you that the results that will change in your life will be insane over the next year. So the biggest challenge people have with this is they try to remember everything in a book, but that's completely pointless. When it comes to a business book or a wealth book, you don't need to remember everything. We just need to find the parts that are relevant for us right now. And a lot of the books, when you've read hundreds of books on wealth, they all kind of become very similar. So you can skip past all the bits you already know that you're already applying and go straight to the new parts. And that's the joy of this. You can just get through so much without wasting all of your time. The course on photo reading takes about, I think it's 1 to 2 weeks. I can't remember. I took it quite a long time ago. And most of that course is Paul Sheely trying to convince you that it works. Because most people don't believe that it can work. But the actual process to be able to read that quickly happens very fast. I could show you now, I'll show you in a few minutes. And all it takes is practice. Because he knew that if people go home, they won't actually practice it enough to make it work. That's why in the room, he got people to read it and keep reading it until it's in their brain, until they believe that it works. So if you actually just scrap that and just believe that it works, there's thousands of people reading like this, maybe millions of people reading like this. Just apply the process and see what happens. Just trust it. Don't expect anything specific to happen. Just apply it for at least a few weeks and wait till you see how fast you can start reading. It really is crazy. So let's get into it right now. So what you want to do when you start reading a book is, it might sound weird, but you always want to finish the book before you begin the book. And that's so you feel comfortable. It doesn't feel unnatural for you. So you want to make sure that you've at least looked at every single page on the book. First of all, you'd look at the page of contents and you would read that because that gives you a good idea of what's going to be in the book and gets your brain ready for what's coming. So you take time to do that and then you start turning the pages just like this. It's very simple. And in order to keep your conscious mind off, you need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this keeps your conscious mind distracted because in this process, you'll be reading with your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind can pick up so much knowledge in a very short period of time. So you want to go through, keep going through every single page until you finished it. And then you want to read the back of the book, the front of the book, and just now your brain starts to feel familiar with it. Then what you want to do is go through it again and just go a little bit slower. And what you'll notice is there's parts in the book that just catch your attention. But you don't want to read it slowly. You want to have a look quickly and just let your eyes follow. And then if it doesn't catch you anymore, move on. Just keep turning the pages until something grabs you. And you want to commit to not spending too much time, even if something does catch you, because people slow down once they get to a certain page, and then they go back to reading the old style. Because what makes people read slowly is they read the words in their mind. This is how most people would read. Resolve today to be the very best at what you do. Set a goal for yourself to join the top 10%. And that slows the brain down so much, because whenever you can see a whole paragraph, your mind can absorb it very quickly and you get the idea about what it is, and it creates an image, so you start to read with images. But even just doing this basic version of turning the pages until you become familiar with the book, it's amazing how much your brain will actually have taken in from that book. And the other thing is, it's incredibly important to start off with a very small book. The reason I picked this is because a normal person could actually read it quite fast, so you start to believe the process, you start to believe that it works, because your mind takes it in. If you read a big autobiography with no headlines, with no subheadlines, it gets incredibly difficult for your brain to absorb the information, and then you believe it doesn't work. So you want to keep doing it in small books until you feel that it's working, and then move to other books. Then the next stage is speed reading. So you also want to practice this. You want to just run your finger and keep your eyes going with your finger. Now don't worry if you're not getting anything, because at the very beginning you probably won't really see much of this. But it trains your eye to go faster across the page. And you're not reading the words, just follow, let your eyes follow until you learn to read with images instead of your voice. So you want to practice this, and this takes a lot of practice, turning the pages of new books. If you have more books in your house, try lots of them, turn lots of pages, and just wait to see if your mind picks any of it up. And then do this. You might have to do it for an hour a day. And it's amazing how whenever you're not reading to yourself, you still continue to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's amazing how much your brain actually starts to see what's in the book rather than hear what's in the book. And that's the big difference. People who read fast see what's in the book rather than read it or hear it. So just keep doing it, keep doing it. And then once you get better at that, you can start doing, run your finger down the page like this. Turn the page, run your finger down the page. Run your finger down the page. Then another one is run your finger like a snake down the page. And this is how you read the parts that are very important to you. It's not how you read the whole book, it's how you read the parts that your mind has figured out what is important to you. And another thing I do when I'm reading is, in a book like this, that's an actionable book, I will take a post-it note and put it on any page that I'm not applying. And then when I've read the book, I might have 4 post-it notes, and I go and spend the next few days or weeks applying that until it's in the muscle, because application is the only thing that's going to create wealth. Being more intelligent isn't, it's what you read and what you apply about what you read. So that's a super basic version. If you go to a 2-week course, it's not any more than that. That's just what it is. It's just about getting it practice, getting it in the muscle. And it might sound simplistic, but after you try it for a few days, even for an hour you try it, you'll see incredible results and your mind will start to absorb it. The only thing that'll hold you back is your idea that it doesn't work, that you're not remembering everything. But just keep doing it and wait to see what happens inside your brain. So that's it for now, and we'll have a lot more lessons coming soon, so have fun with it. And until next time, take care.